Okay, now let's continue to our lessons about coding, where we were designing a web project, and we are going to lesson 11 this time round, which is going back end. We have been dealing with the front end. Now we want to go back end. This let me zoom this one, and now you can see here it's back end explained. So I'm going to explain what is in back end and the difference between the front end. We have been dealing with the front end. Now we are going back end, and then the back end of a website consists of a server, an application, and a database. So this is what we call a back end. A backend developer builds and maintains the technology that powers those components, which together enable the user facing side of the website to even exist in the first place. Yeah, so a complete professional website must have both front end and back end, and this is what we are talking about here. You should note this: a complete professional website must have both front end and back end. What is front end? Front end is a part of a website that the users can see. Users or clients can see. You can also think of front end as the client side of an application. It is made up of languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. When you go to backend, now this one refers to the part of a website. When you look at this front end, is just dealing with this specifically mainly these three languages where the client can see. But the backend now, backend when you talk about backend, we refer to the part of a website that allow it to operate and that cannot be accessed by a user. So backend appears in a site that only administrators will be able to access it, and this is where most data and operating syntax are stored and accessed in the backend. So when you talk about backend, we also said that it is made up of database engines like Oracle database. We have MySQL. We have Microsoft SQL Server. We also have POSTGRESQL, MongoDB, MariaDB, among many others. The backend communicates with the frontend, sending and receiving information to be displayed as a web page. Now, let's continue here. We say now the database is the essential part of it's the essential component of a web application, which you store and organize data. You need to have a database for every website where you can store and organize data. And whenever you develop an application or website, we need to choose a suitable database that makes it more interactive. So a database is very important when you are dealing with websites. You don't just develop a website and you leave it on the front end alone. So Django comes with a built-in SQL database, which is SQLite. However, we can use various databases in Django, and these below are the list of databases that Django supports. We have PostgreSQL, MariaDB, MySQL, Oracle, and SQLite. So SQLite is the default database that is used or that comes with Django. So when you are starting your database, you'll notice that in the settings.py and on databases, the default engine there is going to show you in Django.db backends. As you can see here, let's open our project and see what is what we are talking about here. Now, our project is in Visual Code. Now, when you open a project like this, you go to settings.py. This is where you will see now databases, and you will see that the default database here is SQLite 3. So the engine is SQLite 3, and the name is also set there as SQLite 3. So this is the name of your database. Now SQLite does not have specific user management functionality and hence not suitable for multiple user access. So SQLite is suitable for smaller databases, but we can change this to any database of our choice. SQLite is just small for used for small databases or for learning or for just database that you need to store a very small piece of information on data. For my case here, I will be using POSTGRESQL, and this is the most recommended database for Django. So when you are dealing with Django, you should use this database. PostgreSQL is more secure. We are going to see why we are going to choose it. So the reason why we choose it first is that why we choose PostgreSQL. PostgreSQL supports a huge number of features, many of which are not available on other database systems. Just some examples of this include indexes that support different collections, types, access methods, and operators. Also, PostgreSQL is more secure and can handle huge amounts of data. Unlike MySQL, which is a purely relational database, PostgreSQL is a object relational database, and it offers more sophisticated data types and lets objects inherit properties. This one is very good and very simple to use, as we are going to see when we continue with our project. So the advantages or the merits of PostgreSQL is that we have it's open source. Source code is freely available and an open source license, and this allows you the freedom to use, modify, and implement it as per your business needs. This database is found free. You don't need to buy or purchase anything, just use it for free. It also it has reduced costs. So as a true open source product, PostgreSQL does not cost anything, no license fees. It's totally free to use. You no longer have to worry about licensing costs, contract issues, and dealing with high budget product, anything of that kind. So Postgres is just free. You just access it for free and use it for free. Nobody is going to ask you for money or for licensing costs to use PostgreSQL. It is available to you when you want it and the way you want it. Also, another advantage is that it's community driven. That is, it is very reliable, the reliability. So multiple companies and individuals contribute to the project and have driven information for more than 25 years now. The strong community ensures that bugs are fixed without delay. You have the PNG and the mean, or PG, is supported by a wide array of extensions plus multiple SQL and non-SQL data models. About security is also another advantage. There are features for enhanced security thanks to its extensibility. However, if you use if you make use of the right ones, TD data masking, you get very secure database which takes care of your most valuable asset, your data. That is, and there's also scalability. Your PostgreSQL database can grow with you. There are multiple technical options for operating PostgreSQL at scale. That's why your PostgreSQL database can grow with you and can be as large as you need it to go. Those are the advantages of using PostgreSQL, as we are going to be seeing when you are going to be using this database. We are going to see how we are going to deal with it. So we have a frontend there and backend, as we have talked, and then we are going to be using PostgreSQL, and you have also seen the advantages of PostgreSQL. This is the reason why I'm choosing PostgreSQL in my project. So the next step that we are going to do is now to install the PostgreSQL for our project. I'll demonstrate how to install PostgreSQL and how to configure that, so that you can be able to use it on your project instead of using the default one, which is the SQLite 3. You'll just change a few settings under database, and then you'll create the database itself using png and min, which you are going to see. And after connecting the database, then we will be just creating tables on our coding interface in the Django or in the Visual Studio Code, where when you just code a program or you just code a table, you place the primary key, the fields that you need for your table, you just migrate data, and then the tables are created automatically, and data is migrated or moved to those tables automatically by just writing a simple command of migrate. So a complete website should have a front end and a backend. And backend is as we have talked about. So I'll be coming back with a new lesson which will be talking about the installation and configuration of PostgreSQL, and many other things that you're going to be seeing as we continue with our project. Thank you. See you next time in the next lesson.